Bret Flixers of all shapes, sizes, genders, ages, hair colors, whatever. Welcome for another episode. This is episode 5. This BretFlix episode 5, The Revenge. Ooh. Now, oh hey dude, what? Where did you come from? What's happening? You guys, what a special treat we have here today. I didn't know he was here. BretFlix co-founder.
Sorry.
BretFlix co-founder Eric Smith. It's a good thing I always keep a spare Shack soda. Which one would you like? I have vanilla cream and orange cream soda.
Orange cream.
Orange cream?
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome. Well, I guess you're here. You wanna do the episode with me?
Yeah, I might as well.
I guess it makes sense because for some strange reason I was sitting really far left to the frame, so or maybe the audience will see this to the right. I don't really know, but well, cool. Anyway, I guess you've seen the movies we're going to talk about. We didn't plan this at all.
Not at all.
Not one bit. Well, we're going to start off with our Brooksathon. We're continuing that, and next on the Brooks list is his film Mother, starring Albert Brooks and Debbie Reynolds. Now, I love this movie. This is probably my favorite Albert Brooks movie. I heard you weren't exactly a fan.
No, the whole movie I was just like...
kind of bored.
Yeah.
It's it has a great premise. Albert Brooks plays a guy who's recently divorced, I think for like the second time, and he needs to find a little direction in his life, and so he decides to conduct a little experiment. He's going to move back in with his mom, and he wants to move back into his old room in the old house that he grew up in, put all of his same stuff back in there, exactly how it was from when he was a teenager. You know, his movie posters, his sports trophies, which I don't even know if he had any, but
he had a couple silver medals.
Okay, yeah. And just kind of see how that goes. Maybe that'll help him kind of rediscover who he is or something. I personally found it hilarious, and I thought Debbie Reynolds was brilliant. Should have been nominated for an Oscar. Should have won an Oscar. Her performance is perfect. But you found it kind of stale?
It was pretty stale for me.
Yeah.
Aside from when he could bring up writing within every conversation, everyone was getting annoyed with it. Other than that...
Yeah, that was like
for me.
Yeah, like later in the movie when he was able to like link everything, kind of like in a Freudian way to like ooh, the parents' effect on the kids.
This explains this. Why?
yeah. I guess that kind of works that we have someone on the opposite end of the spectrum here. So, and I think that does kind of speak for Brooks's comedy, because his comedy is very situational and very realistic. So it's not exactly like something like Dumb and Dumber, or where you just laugh out loud at everything that happens. It's kind of more something where, like, if you relate to it, you'll find the humor in it, and if you don't, you won't exactly enjoy it. So he's not for everyone, obviously.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you have a big thumbs up and a big thumbs down. I think it's his best movie. Have you seen other Brooks films he's directed?
Name some.
Well, so far we've covered Real Life, Modern Romance, Lost in America, Defending Your Life. And then after this, he directed The Muse and Look for Comedy in the Muslim World.
No. None of those.
But you've seen, like, Finding Nemo?
Yeah.
He's funny in Finding Nemo, right?
Wait, who does he play?
Marlon the...
Oh, yeah.
So...
Wait, he was in This Is 40?
Yeah, he was in This Is
that's
40,
right.
yeah. So, he's a fan.
That was a good one.
He's a fan. Whatever.
Oh, is this where you, like, cut stuff out?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, between each movie I usually, take a drink. Sometimes I get sweaty, so I wipe myself off. Alright, and second film on today's list is Richard Linklater's 2011 film, I believe, Bernie, starring Jack Black, Matthew McConaughey, and Shirley MacLaine. This was one we both liked, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. That's good. It's based on a true story. Jack Black plays a guy named Bernie in a small town in Texas, I believe. And he is basically the nicest guy on the planet.
He had like a nice guy, like, fairy persona.
Yeah, no, totally. Like, and when you say fairy, not to be offensive, but a lot of people do speculate his sexuality in the movie. And he's impossible to hate. He has just a genuine love for everybody. He's not like trying to win people's affection because he like has some need to be liked. Like he does try to win people's affection, but just because he wants to, because he just has
like,
love
out of the
for
goodness
people.
of his heart.
Yeah, exactly. And he works as a
coroner.
Yeah. And he prepares dead bodies and stuff, and does funerals and everything. And he befriends this woman played by Shirley MacLaine, who's like the nastiest woman in town.
She was mean.
Yeah, very mean, and no one likes her. And that's why he wants to like reach out to her, because he's like, no, there's humanity in her. There's a good person there. We just gotta bring it out. And he ends up driving her, or she ends up driving him so crazy. In a kind of a blacked out moment, he kills her, and
Stuffs her in a freezer.
Yeah, stuffs her.
I didn't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, well, I already spoiled that part, but that's kind of the premise of the movie, though. So I guess it's not too much of a spoiler. And then the rest of the movie, he like tries to fake her life, I guess, and uses her money. And she's a really rich woman, and he like takes her money, and but he doesn't like steal it for himself. He doesn't keep a single dime for himself. He spends it on the people of the town. He buys people houses and cars, helps people pay their bills. So it's a movie about a guy who's just impossible to hate. Like, you couldn't hate him, could you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
One little fun fact. I actually met the director of this movie. Don't mean to brag. I met Richard Linklater at a film festival back in 2011. And I met him the day after he finished filming this movie. I met him, I shook his hand, I was like, dude, you look really tired. He's like, yeah, sorry, man. I just finished filming my new movie last night. And I was like, what? No way, tell me about it. He's like, all I can say is that it's got it's got Jack Black and Matthew McConaughey. I'm like, whoa. I'm like on the inside of this now. And then I later looked it up, and it ended up being this movie, and I think it's a really great movie. So, do you recommend the ladies and gentlemen at home to watch this? This and our final movie of the episode, I'm deeply sorry for. It was his idea.
No,
it was his idea. So I'm gonna make him do most of the talking on this one, because I'll just start crying.
Next film we're gonna talk about is I'm sorry, it's a Killing Season. It's about, I don't know, kind of sum it up for me, because I don't know where to begin. It's shameful.
It is pretty shameful. It's too bad, because that has two of the best actors in the whole world in it. Like,
it's, in a nutshell, it's like Tom and Jerry. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's like Tom and Jerry.
But with a painful Russian accent. Why, though? I don't know.
He's trying to get his thoughts in order. Let me see if I can explain.
Yeah, thank you.
It stars Robert De Niro, the great Robert De Niro, and John Travolta, the great John Travolta. John Travolta has the most awkward and terrible accent you've ever heard in a movie. Where is he supposed to be from?
Did you say Bosnia?
Yes, yeah. It's Bosnia, yes. And I guess like De Niro and Travolta have like this history, like they were in some war and they were on opposite sides, and Travolta wants revenge, so he finds out where De Niro lives, which is high up in the woods, and they have a Tom and Jerry cat and mouse game, basically trying to torture and kill each other. The first half of the movie, before Travolta starts to fight De Niro, like Travolta kind of befriends him.
So stale.
And it's just boring dialogue of them telling stories, them eating, them getting a little drunk, and then they go hunting.
It's almost like a slumber party at a cabin for the first hour.
Right, yeah. And then the last hour is just them fighting. It's like nothing really, I mean, things happen in this movie, but it's nothing you really care about. It's like the dialogue and stuff you don't care about, and then you just want them to get onto the fighting, but then once they get onto the fighting, you find you don't really care about that either. And it's just, and also it's like, when one person gets caught, like I said, they torture each other a lot in this movie. So one person will kind of get the upper hand over the other, and then like kind of have them tied down and torture them in a different way.
They just take turns.
Yeah, exactly. They take turns, and like they're gonna make it out of there, because it's like, okay, this movie's only an hour into it, so obviously Travolta or De Niro's not gonna die right now. So then you just kind of, you're not even excited by like the action in the movie. It's a really stale movie. I don't know. I don't even know why we chose to do this one.
Because you wouldn't watch Small Soldiers. That's why.
I just couldn't. You're like, dude, let's do Small Soldiers. I'm like, man. Maybe, but maybe next time we'll do Small Soldiers, because at least that's a fun movie. Like,
try telling.
I didn't think that not doing Small Soldiers would lead to Killing Season. If I would have known that, I would have done Small Soldiers, because at least that's like an amazing movie. Yeah. Like, it's a bad movie, but it's great. Hey, you know, if you're looking for, I think if you're looking for a bad movie, if you're with some buddies and you're hanging out one night and you want to throw a bad movie on to riff on, to make fun of, Killing Season's actually a pretty great choice. Because even though I'm like, oh no, Killing Season, I'm going to have to admit, I've seen this movie about 5 times.
That's 5 times too many.
because every single time I'm with someone, I'm like, dude, you gotta see this movie. I think we've watched it twice together. I've watched it a few times with my buddy Dana and Mike. And the things that you come up with, the ways to make fun of this movie are pretty endless. And so in that in that way, this movie is really something special. But not in a way that's really worth it, or I don't know.
No.
Yeah, no. So I guess a mixed recommendation: stay away from Killing Season, but if you watch it, get into it, and it will be kind of a good time. So yeah, I guess that's episode 5. That's the revenge. I guess we can call it revenge because we're getting revenge on ourselves with Killing Season. I guess maybe we just hate ourselves, or just like we gotta torture ourselves with a bad movie. But excuse me. I guess I'll thank my co-host here for spontaneously showing up and gracing me with his presence.
Oh, you're welcome,
dude.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, the pleasure was all mine. So I'm sure he'll be back at some point. You know, if he ever wanted to come on, I couldn't say no. He's pretty irresistible, and I guess we'll see you fellas in episode 6.
Later.